What happens when a single glance captures everything left unsaid, and a quiet reaction speaks louder than any confession ever could. It begins in a moment so small it could easily be missed. A shared smile, a gentle exchange, a sweetness that lingers just a second longer than expected. Wang and Bailu stand close, their interaction effortless, natural, unguarded. It is not dramatic. There is no announcement, no performance. Just a softness between them that feels lived in, as if it belongs to a story still being written rather than one already told. And then the camera drifts. It finds Shen Yue. She does not interrupt. She does not react loudly. She simply watches. But in that quiet observation lies an entire emotional landscape. If you are still watching, subscribe. Let's get the story started as the world of your favorite celebrity unfolds.
Stay tuned.
At first, her expression is neutral, almost unreadable. The practiced calm of someone used to being on camera, used to being composed. Yet beneath that stillness, something shifts. Her eyes linger, not out of curiosity, but recognition. As though she understands the weight of what she is witnessing. Because Shen Yue has always been sensitive to emotional undercurrents. She notices what others overlook. The pauses between words. The warmth in body language. The difference between staged closeness and something that flows naturally. And what she sees between DyShen and Bailu is not forced. It is not exaggerated. It is simply there. Her lips curve into a small smile. Not a smile of surprise. Not a smile of teasing. But one of quiet acceptance. In that moment, Shen Yue does not look away. She watches fully, openly, as if allowing herself to feel everything without judgment. There is no jealousy in her gaze. No bitterness. Instead, there is something far more complex. Reflection. Awareness. Perhaps even a trace of nostalgia for emotions once felt, once imagined, or once misunderstood. For fans who know Shen Yue, this reaction speaks volumes. She has never been someone who hides behind excess. Her strength lies in sincerity. And here, her sincerity shows not through words, but through restraint. She does not insert herself into the moment. She gives it space. That alone is an act of emotional maturity rarely captured on screen. As DyShen laughs softly at something Bailu says, Shen Yue's smile deepens briefly, then fades into thoughtfulness. It is the look of someone realizing that affection, when genuine, does not need permission to exist. Around them, the world continues. Conversations overlap. Crew members move. The set remains alive. Yet for a few seconds, Shen Yue exists in her own quiet bubble, absorbing the reality unfolding before her. Later, when she finally speaks, her tone is light. She makes a gentle comment, a soft joke, something that releases the tension without exposing its source. Those who hear it may think nothing of it, but those who watch closely understand. This is her way of honoring the moment without claiming it. There is grace in that choice. Behind the scenes, this reaction becomes a defining snapshot. Not because it hints at rivalry or hidden feelings, but because it reveals emotional intelligence. Shen Yue does not compete with affection she sees. She acknowledges it. She respects it. And in doing so, she protects her own peace. As the day continues, she remains the same.
Warm.
Engaged. Present. But something subtle has changed. Not in a painful way, but in a reflective one. As if witnessing that sweet moment has quietly reminded her of something important. That connections evolve. That not every bond is meant to be the same. That witnessing love does not diminish one's own worth. In the end, Shen Yue's reaction becomes the most powerful moment of all. Not because she cried. Not because she spoke. But because she understood. And perhaps that is the true revelation. Sometimes the strongest response to love is not possession, not longing, not comparison. It is the quiet strength to watch it unfold, smile sincerely, and let it exist without fear. That is what Shen Yue gave in that moment. And that is why it lingers long after the sweetness fades from view. And yet, the moment does not end when the camera moves away. Because reactions like Shen Yue's do not vanish when the scene changes. They settle. They echo. They unfold slowly, revealing meaning long after the sweetness itself has passed. As the day progresses, Shen Yue carries herself with the same gentle composure, but those who know her well sense a deeper stillness beneath the surface. It is not sadness. It is not regret. It is contemplation. The kind that arrives when reality quietly rearranges what the heart once assumed. In private moments between takes, she grows quieter. Not withdrawn, but inward. As if replaying what she witnessed, not to analyze it, but to understand it. DyShen and Bailu's closeness was not loud enough to demand attention, yet strong enough to command respect. And Shen Yue, more than anyone, understands the difference. She has lived in stories where love is obvious and dramatic, where emotions are declared under rainstorms and confessions echo through silence. But this moment was different. It was subtle, unscripted,
Real.
and that is what stays with her. Later, when conversation naturally turns to lighter topics, Shen Yue joins in effortlessly. She laughs. She teases. She keeps the atmosphere warm. No one feels tension around her. No one senses discomfort. If anything, she becomes even more generous with her energy, as though determined to protect the harmony of the space. This choice matters, because it reveals something profound about her character. Shen Yue does not compete with moments that are not hers. She does not attempt to redefine them. She allows them to exist untouched, respected, complete. In quieter reflection, one might imagine her acknowledging a truth many struggle to face. That seeing affection between others can stir questions within ourselves. Not about loss, but about timing. About alignment. About how life does not always unfold according to expectation, but often according to readiness. And Shen Yue appears ready. Ready to let moments be what they are. Ready to understand that warmth shared by others does not take warmth away from her own future. Ready to accept that not every meaningful connection needs to lead somewhere defined. As night settles in, the environment softens. The pace slows. Conversations grow less animated. And in these calmer hours, Shen Yue's presence becomes grounding. She listens more than she speaks. When she does speak, her words are thoughtful, measured, sincere. The kind of presence that reassures without explanation. If DyShen notices, he does not say anything. If Bailu senses it, she responds with quiet kindness. There is no confrontation, no awkwardness, only mutual respect, unspoken and intact. And perhaps that is the most powerful outcome of all. Because what could have been interpreted as tension instead becomes maturity. What could have turned into speculation transforms into grace. Shen Yue's reaction does not feel drama. It dissolves it. When fans later revisit the footage, slowing it down, replaying the subtle expressions, they see what makes the moment unforgettable. Not the sweetness itself, but the witness to it. Shen Yue's calm smile, her steady gaze, her quiet decision to let the moment breathe. In a world that thrives on exaggerated reactions and emotional spectacle, her restraint becomes radical. Her understanding becomes moving. And her silence speaks with clarity. In the end, Shen Yue's reaction is not a side note to DyShen and Bailu's sweetness. It is its own story. A story about emotional strength. About knowing when to step back without stepping away. About recognizing beauty without needing to claim it. And long after the moment fades, that is what remains. Not tension. Not questions. But a quiet lesson in grace that lingers, unseen but deeply felt.